excuse my sense of humour, I'm normally very serious. So yeah, thank you for all the comments, or questions rather. I've gone through all the questions and randomly picked out some of the ones I would like to answer for now. How did you come up with that stellar signature? And this is from Pinko Stinko. I first created that when I was late teens, early 20s. It was when I first started creating tattoo flash for studios. It was like my brand logo, if you will. You know, I placed this on the tattoo sheet. So when you saw these sheets on the wall in the tattoo shops, you would instantly know that was from JSH. Whatever. It didn't take me long to create it. It kind of came natural. I just drew out a few ideas and I hit on that, and that's it. And I've used that symbol logo ever since. I have an interesting story about that logo though, because when I first used to go around tattoo shops, you know, I'd get on the trains and the buses and I'd visit as many tattoo shops as I could in a day. I'd do this every day for several weeks at a time, and then I'd come home and create some more tattoo designs and then do it all over again. Anyway, there was this one tattoo shop in Matlock, Bath. She was a regular customer of mine. Every time I completed a set, she was like the first person I'd go visit. And on this one occasion, she's like, "So, I noticed, what's this design? This thing here it's on every page. It's on all the pages on the wall too." And I said, "Oh, that's just my logo. It's just a brand, you know. It's my initials. It's my initials, JSH." And she's like, "Oh right, because I just tattooed that on somebody's arm a couple of days ago." Okay, next question. Do you like tomatoes? Yeah, I do. And this comes from Mr. Tomato the Immortal. Yeah, I think tomatoes are Boston. In fact, I eat them at least once a week in a bowl, cherry tomatoes, when I'm sat down watching a movie. Brilliant. Next question. What program are you using for edit videos? This comes from Emilix136. I just use the standard Windows Movie Maker. That's it. What is the longest time you've taken to do a piece of artwork? And this comes from Ben Belay. Wow, I'm going back a long time now. When I was in my early 20s, I used to create celebrity portrait pencil drawings, which then I would make prints and sell the prints to local art dealers, some outside my town too. The first one I did was of the Beatles, and I drew all four of the Beatles, you know, Lennon, George, Paul, whatever, in each corner of the page, and I spent literally all week, only about this big, 11 by 17, and it took me all week. But yeah, looking back on that now, I could probably do that in, well, a lot less at the time now. You know, speed comes naturally the more you draw, you know. Speed comes with experience. The more you do something, the quicker you're going to get naturally, obviously. So yeah, the longest time it's ever taken me to create a piece was of the Beatles, and I will put a link in the bottom of in the description so you can go check it out if you want to. Alright, next question. Who is your favourite artist? And this comes from Juman Misotti. I hope I got your name right. If not, I'm sorry. Okay. Who is your favourite artist? Man. Well, I have so many, past and present, but I guess over time you tend to lean towards the artists that you relate more to, I guess. And I'll have to say Picasso based on that. Not just, I don't think I'm like Picasso, of course he's like one of the greatest artists that ever lived and probably will ever live in the future. But it's versatility. I guess artists with versatility I can relate a lot with, because as you can see through my videos, I cover a lot of different areas. I draw in a lot of different styles, I paint in a lot of different styles. I even like to sculpt, which I'm yet to share well, you might see my my crazy sandcastle sculpture I did, but yeah, I can sculpt, and maybe I will do some in the future, in clay and plaster of Paris and all that. So yeah, Picasso. Next question. How did you become so good at drawing? And this comes from Peter Boo Saga. Practice. You know, I didn't come out the womb be drawing like Leonardo da Vinci. It took practice. I mean, obviously you have to have an interest in it. I mean, I was drawing before I was walking. I was scribbling, trying to doodle stuff, draw stuff. First time I held a crayon. Apparently I was about, 18 months old, I guess, when I started scribbling, and I was probably 3 or 4 when I was actually drawing actual objects. I remember when I was around 5 years old, I would always practice drawing my thumb, and I'd do this every day, all the time. I'd draw at least 3 drawings every day. That's all I ever did. So yeah, it's just practice. Okay, next question. Okay, oh yeah. How can you draw with only one hand without moving the paper? Well, that's simple. The paper is actually stuck down with a little bit of glue tack on each corner. Okay, next question. Would you come to Chile to share with your fans? And this comes from Senai Draftsman. Well, I never realised they had fans in Chile, but sure, I'd go. Definitely. I love to travel. This next question comes from X Edits. Have you ever been or ever considered being a tattoo artist? Yes, I've considered being a tattoo artist. No, I have never been a tattoo artist. All I've done is design the tattoos. Sure, in my time, I've been offered apprenticeships at various tattoo studios, especially when I was a lot younger, when I was 20, 21. I would go around the UK trying to sell my tattoo flash sets to tattooists, tattoo studios, and every now and again, one of the tattoo shop owners would say, hey, would you be interested in an apprenticeship? At the time, I was more interested in the design side of it. I'd like to draw and create my own design, so I declined every single offer I got, more or less. There was one occasion where I actually said yes to a tattoo shop in Wolverhampton, in England. I did about 1 or 2 days apprenticing, and I realised it wasn't for me, so I left. You know, tattooing is not for everybody, but I never say never. There might come a point in my life where things may change, and who knows, I might have a tattoo shop, but you never know. But right now I'm pretty happy with the way my art career is going. I don't have any intentions of becoming a tattooist just yet. Okay, next question. How many tribal tattoos have you drawn? And this comes from Tiny Miracle. Wow. I couldn't put an exact number on it, but it's got to be in the thousands. When I created custom tattoo designs for people, I did it for 10 years. I created custom tattoo designs for people all over the world. They would get in touch with me through the internet. They would email me, or they would contact me through other websites, through other design websites, and that's how they would find me. Also through YouTube, various outlets like that. I was very busy. I would create up to at least 20 custom tattoo designs every week. I would say at least 60% of them were tribal. I did this every week for 10 solid years. So you're talking several thousand right there, probably. Okay, next question. Have you ever gone to art schools and do you think they are necessary? And this comes from Jaxa4. Sure, I've been to art schools. After high school, I went to art college in Burton-on-Trent, my local town. I did an intermediate course. I did an intermediate course for 1 year. This covered all aspects, different areas of art, photography, graphic design, 3D, sculpting, fashion, illustration, you name it, I did it. The whole point of the intermediate course was just so you could decide what you'd like to specialise in for the following 2 years. And at that time I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do in the art field, you know. I knew I wanted to create, but I couldn't really decide which way to go. And back then I chose to go down the design route, and I ended up specialising in product design, which is completely different to what I'm doing now, but there you go. Okay, next question. Do you consider doodles to be art? And this comes from Alex Hall. Well, you know what, I think there's two sides to this. Sure, you're going to get people that think doodles is not art, and on the other side you're going to get people that think it is art. And you know what, they're both right. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's all subjective at the end of the day. Me personally, I believe if some thought process has gone into making whatever mark, into making the marks, then it's art. Now, on the flip side, you can get accidental art. I believe there is such a thing. For instance, you could walk through a puddle, leave footprints along the sidewalk, and some onlooker might see these footprints and think, looks like a snake, or I like the patterns in the shoe, whatever, you know what I mean? And does it make it art then? Yes, you know, if you think it's art, then it's art. Next question, this comes from Joseph Oxley. What was the longest period of time you have taken from creating any sort of art, and was it difficult to get back into it after the break? Well, you know what, sure. I mean, I've got pieces of artwork that I started months ago, even weeks ago, months ago, even years ago, and they're not complete. Sometimes I'll go back and finish them off, or sometimes I just leave them. You know, sometimes I could be working on a painting or a drawing, and you know, at the time it all feels good and all that, and or it's going really well, and for some reason you've got to step away from that and do something else, because that's more important than that piece you're working on at that time. But sure, you're going to have to step away sometimes. And yeah, sure, when that happens to me, yeah, I find it very hard to get back into that mindset. So yeah, I've got paintings that, man, I've got a painting I started back in 1998. Still not finished. But in my defence, that painting is in England, so it's 5,000 miles away. Okay, next question. It's fantastic to hear your voice in your later videos. Really? Okay. But my question is this. Do you find it a huge distraction? Yeah, I do. I find I have to work in absolute quiet or with music playing. I don't like people watching me or scrutinising my artwork before it is complete. How do you cope? And this comes from Cliff Lewis. Well, you know what? It's always been a problem for me. When I was younger and I would draw, I would draw like this. When I was at home, you know, when family members were around, I'd be drawing at the back of the room on the table, and I'd be like this. And they'd come over and, what are you drawing? And I'd look, and I'd be like, no, that's just anxiety. That you obviously, if people aren't really familiar with your work, you're going to start worrying and think they're going to judge you based on what you've already drawn. You could be just sketching it out raw or whatever, and they're going to look at that. I think that's your best work. So I guess that's where it all stems from. And yeah, the drawing tutorials I've done previously to this, this week and last week. Yeah, that was very difficult. Painting and drawing whilst you're talking. You do two things at once. Normally when I draw or paint, I'm lost in my work. I've got music playing. So all I'm thinking about is my painting. When you're talking and drawing and painting, you're thinking about what you're going to say. Yeah, you worry if you don't come over clearly or you're not explaining yourself properly. That all comes into play. But yeah, I mean, it's something I feel I need to do. So yeah, I mean, and the more you do something, the better you're going to get. So yeah, eventually you'll be able to cope with it. For instance, last year I did my first live painting in front of an audience. I had 30 pairs of eyes watching me paint a portrait at a local art club in town. Never done that before, ever. So yeah, that was pretty nerve-wracking. It's almost like a distant memory now. I don't even remember painting the picture. I remember how I felt afterwards and before. You just get yourself pumped for it, and and keep your head up, held up high, and you should be alright. So yeah, that's all I've got time for today. If I didn't get around to answering your question, I'm very sorry, but I do intend to get through all of the questions. I will reply to every single one of you. I do intend for that. So look out for the next Q&A request. I might do it as early as next week, and yeah, make sure to comment with your questions on that video, just so I don't miss your questions. And yeah, like always, thank you for watching and take care.